Hello everyone, myself Halunde SS. Today I am going to discuss with you related to analog circuit. In that we have discussed earlier two lectures related to oscillators, that is the types of oscillator and what is the basic meaning of that oscillator and what is the criteria we are using for that oscillator. Just these things we have discussed. But our today's topic is related to type of oscillator, that is one of the type of oscillator related to that this oscillator chapter is a LC, that means inductance capacitance configuration related to oscillator. This is our today's topic aim. Now let us see about that. LC oscillators use the transistor and the LC tuned circuit or the crystal in their feedback network. That means for the LC oscillator we are using that transistor along with that LC tuned circuit component, that is a inductance and a capacitance for the feedback network related to that op-amp. For hundreds of kilohertz to hundreds of megahertz frequency range. That means the LC oscillator can be ranges from hundreds of kilohertz to hundreds of megahertz frequency range. For example, in that LC oscillator circuitry designing purpose examines the Colpitts, Hartley, crystal oscillator. These are the three types related to our LC oscillator. Along with this, first of all we are going to see about that Colpitt oscillator. In that Colpitt oscillator, just see here the inductance is connected along with that C. For that purpose this type of a oscillator is considered as a LC oscillator, and that LC oscillator will be designed for that oscillation purpose. Along with that this type of a configuration is called as a Colpitt oscillator, because that Colpitt oscillator is a type of oscillator that uses an LC circuit in the feedback loop. Just I have shown here, just see here is a C1 and here is a L is a present. For that purpose that LC oscillator is used for that feedback circuit. Then the feedback network is made up of a pair of a tapped capacitor, that is a C1 and C2, and the inductors L to produce a feedback necessary for oscillations. The output voltage is developed across C1. That means whatever the output voltage is introduced over here, it is developed across that C1. Then the feedback voltage is developed across C2. That means the output voltage is developed across C1 capacitor and the feedback voltage is developed across that C2 capacitor. Thus the C1 and C2 will be plays an important role related to LC tank circuit related to that Colpitt's oscillator. Along with that, applying KCL, that means Kirchhoff's current law. What that Kirchhoff's current law says is that incoming node, current incoming at any specific node related to current outgoing throughout that node. This definition is related to Kirchhoff's current law. According to this law, just see here, whatever the incoming currents related to these circuits are V0 divided by 1 divided by SC1 plus V0 divided by R plus GM VGS plus V0 divided by SL plus 1 divided by SC2 is equal to 0. This is equation number 1 related to KCL, that is a Kirchhoff's current law equation number 1 related to this loop, and that is the incoming current. All the summations of incoming current is equal to outgoing current. Then outgoing current is not present over here. For that purpose that outgoing current is considered as equal to 0. And we know what is the standard formula related to current conversion. It is nothing but I is equal to V into R. According to that formula here, that current is converted into voltage with respect to resistors. Then the voltage divider produces the VGS output, that is a VGS is equal to 1 divided by SC2 divided by 1 divided by SC1 plus SL into V0. This is equation number 2 related to source voltage is equal to, it is converted into output voltage. Then substituting equation number 2 into equation number 1, just see over here we have put that VGS. By replacing that value of VGS over here, what we get, that V0, that means this is the output voltage, that is a V0. Then numerator is again reverse backly considered as a denominator. By using that here, that denominator is a SC1, and like this here also the denominator is a divided factor is a SC1, and like this dividation factor along with that VGS terminology is replaced over here, and what we get by substituting equation number 2 in equation number 1, just see here, output voltage into bracket GM plus SC2 plus 1 plus S square LC2 1 divided by R plus SC1 is equal to 0. Then assume that the oscillations has started, then V0 is not equal to 0, then S cube LC1 C2 plus S square LC2 divided by R plus S into bracket C1 plus C2 plus GM plus 1 by R is equal to 0. Let S is equal to j omega, that is the GM is equal to 1 divided by R plus omega square L2C divided by R plus j omega into bracket C1 plus C2 minus omega square L C1 C2 is equal to 0. Both the real and imaginary components must be 0, that is the imaginary component is equal to omega 0 is equal to 1 divided by under root of L C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2. That means C1 and C2 over here, just see these are connected in series with each other. For that purpose this equation came like this. This is the equation number 3. Then next is related to Colpitts oscillator. There is a Colpitts oscillator that is having both imaginary as well as real part. Imaginary part, just I have told in previous lecture that whenever the component or the circuit is starting with that J factor, then that part is considered as a imaginary part, and that imaginary part can be written over here as a, just see here both that imaginary part is written here A1 minute. Both the real and imaginary part component must be 0, that is the imaginary component, that is the omega square L C2 divided by R is equal to GM plus 1 divided by R. Now by using this equation we are combining that equation number 4 along with this 3, this is the equation number 3, that is the omega 0 is equal to 1 divided by under root of L into bracket C1 C2 divided by C1 plus C2 along with omega square L C2 divided by R is equal to GM plus 1 divided by R. Then what we are getting? We are getting C2 divided by C1 is equal to GM into R. To initiate oscillations spontaneously, what we are getting? GM R is greater than C2 by C1. Initially what we are getting? GM R is greater than C2 by C1. Then this is the output related to that oscillations. Along with this, these are the things related to that Colpitts oscillator. But now we are going to see about next type of LC oscillator is a Hartley oscillator. In that LC oscillator and in our what we say that Colpitts oscillator and Hartley oscillator, one basic difference is related to that Hartley oscillator and Colpitts oscillator is that for the LC configuration, for that Colpitts oscillator, what we observed, there is a two C's, that is a C1 and C2s are present, but just see over here, that is a C1 and C2s are present, C1 and C2s are present for that Colpitts oscillator. But for our Hartley oscillator, that is a L1 and L2 present and only one capacitor is present. Depending upon that, the series connection of that L1 and L2 along with the parallel connection of the C, that Hartley oscillator is almost identical to the Colpitts oscillator, just I have discussed. The primary difference is that the feedback network of the Hartley oscillator used, that is a tapped inductors, that is a L1 and L2, like our Colpitts oscillator, that is a C1 and C2, and a single capacitor C, just I have mentioned. And here one transistor is used for that transistor base, that L1, L2 and along with that C input is a given. Then next is a Hartley oscillator. The analysis of a Hartley oscillator is identical to that of the Colpitts oscillator. That means analysis related to that Hartley oscillator and Colpitts oscillator are same, only the frequency of oscillation difference is over here. Just see here that Hartley oscillator frequency difference is omega 0 is equal to 1 divided by under root of L1 plus L2 into C. And for that Colpitts oscillator, just see over here what that values given for that reducing that imaginary part, only that real part is omega 0 is equal to 1 divided by under root of L into bracket C1 C2 divided by C1 plus T2 C2. For that Hartley oscillator, just see over here, omega is equal to 1 divided by L1 plus L2 into C, under root of that. Then the crystal oscillator is one of the type related to our LC oscillator. This is the third type related to our LC oscillator, in that L component is a present, C component is a present, along with that R and Cm component is also present over here. This is the typical package of that crystal oscillator. That in market that crystal oscillator will be looks like this, and for the basic construction without case, just that crystal oscillator seems look like this, and along with that symbol of that crystal oscillator is a XTL. What we are observing in everywhere related to microcontroller chips and all these things, this type of a crystal oscillator is present. Then most of the communication and the digital applications requires the use of oscillators with extremely stable output. The crystal oscillators are innovated overcome the output fluctuation experienced by the conventional oscillators. The crystals used in the electronic application consist of the quartz wafer held between the two metal plates and housed in a package as shown in the figure. That is the figure number 9. A and B are related to how that crystal oscillator is set in that particular package. Just see over here, this is a typical packaged crystal, and this is a basic construction without case. Means what, under this package what we observe this type of a structure. This is a quartz wafer. Then this is a XTAL is related to that crystal, and that crystal will be work out very smoothly, and it will be generates that oscillations. And along with that here just see L and C components are collected. L is connected in the series and C is connected in the parallel with respect to this component. Along with here also the series connection of one capacitor along with that resistor. Then crystal oscillators. Piezoelectric effect is an important factor related to our crystal oscillator. In that the quartz crystal is made of silicon oxide, that is a SiO2. That means silicon dioxide is represented by SiO2 and exhibits a property called as a piezoelectric. That means the piezoelectric property came into picture related to that silicon oxide. It will be generates or it will be exhibit the properties like piezoelectric effect. In that effect, when a charging and alternating voltage is applied across a crystal, it vibrates at a frequency of the applied voltage. That means whatever the frequency applying to any kind of a circuit, along with that frequency, that circuit will be goes on vibrating mode. In the other word, the frequency of the applied AC voltage is equal to the natural resonant frequency of that crystal. That means it will be generates the natural resonating frequency from that crystal. The thinner the crystal, higher its frequency of vibration. This phenomenon is called as a piezoelectric effect. That means when a charging and alternative voltage is applied across the crystal, it will be vibrates, and whenever that vibration will be occurs or vibration came into pictures, that vibrations are converted into frequency and it will be applied to the resonant frequency crystal, and that resonant frequency crystal will be generates that frequency vibration, and then that phenomenon is called as a piezoelectric effect. And that piezoelectric effect is totally dependent upon that crystal, and crystal is made by that silicon oxide. For that purpose, first sentence is related to like this, that is a quartz crystal is made by the silicon oxide dioxide, and it exhibits a property of piezoelectric effect. Along with that, the crystal oscillator characteristics of that quartz crystal oscillator, just see over here. This is the R, L and C. That means crystal oscillator is the combination of resistor, inductance and capacitance along with the parallel combination of one capacitance. And this is the series resonance response related to anti-resonance response and series resonance response related to that crystal oscillator. Then characteristics of that quartz crystal. Quartz crystal means what? Silicon dioxide crystal. What is the characteristics of that quartz crystal oscillator related to generation of that piezoelectric effect? Just see here. The crystal can have the two resonant frequencies, One is the series resonant frequency F1, which occurs when XL is equal to XC. That means inductance resonance frequency is equal to capacitance resonant frequency. At this frequency, the crystal offers a very low impedance to external circuit where Z is equal to R. The other is the parallel resonance or anti-resonance frequency, that is a F2, which occurs when reactance of the series leg equals the reactance of a CM, at which the frequency crystal offers a very high impedance to the external circuit. That means crystal oscillator, that is a quartz oscillator, will be produces a very high crystal oscillating frequencies. Along with that, the crystal oscillator is connected in the series element in the feedback path for the collector to the base, so that it is excited in the series resonance mode. Just see over here, this is a crystal XTAL is the crystal oscillator which is connected in a series path related to this BJT transistor, as well as for that FET transistor, that XTL is connected along with that series. That means the crystal everywhere crystal oscillator is used to generate that oscillation. It is connected in a series with both the circuit. That is a crystal is connected as a series element in the feedback path for the collector to the base, so that it is excited in the series resonance mode. Then crystal oscillator theory is related to this description is, since in a series resonance the crystal impedance is the smallest that causes the crystal provides a largest positive feedback. The resistors R1, R2 and RE provides a voltage divider stabilized DC bias circuit. The capacitor CE provides AC bypass of the emitter resistors, that is RE, to avoid the degradation. The RFC coil provides the DC collector load and also prevents an AC signal from entering the DC supply. The coupling capacitor, that is CC, has the negligible reactance at the circuit operating frequency but blocks any DC flow between the collector and the base. The oscillator frequency equal to SC1, that is AC rises resonance frequency of the crystal, and it is given by F0 is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi under root of LCC, where CC is the coupling capacitor and F0 is nothing but oscillating frequency. Thus what it indicates that, it is indicates that the crystal oscillator will be generates the oscillating frequency along with the resonant frequency, that is F0 is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi under root of LCC. That means by using coupling capacitor we are generating that crystal oscillator frequency, and it is a measurable and it is considered as a oscillating frequency. And that frequency must be oscillator having, just I have told that oscillator frequency is always having the value which is less than that of that our whatever the things we are going to measuring, that means it is below in the range of 1 megahertz. That means whatever the boundary limit related to that oscillator is 1 megahertz, and below that the frequency is generated by that crystal oscillator or any kind of oscillator. Then next oscillator type is related to unijunction oscillator. Then unijunction oscillator is another third type related to that. It is different from that RC oscillator as well as LC oscillator, because in RC oscillator we are using the component like R and C, and for the LC oscillator we are using component like L and C. But for the unijunction oscillator we are using that UJT transistor for that oscillation purpose. For that purpose, this type of a oscillator is called as a unijunction oscillator. Just see over here, we cannot use that is a R and C component or R and L component like this. Here the major part is used related to that oscillation purpose is a unijunction transistor, that is UJT, unijunction transistor. For that purpose the unijunction transistor can be used in what is called as a relaxation oscillator. Whenever we are using unijunction transistor for the oscillation purpose in any kind of a circuit, then that type of a circuit is called as a relaxation oscillator, as shown by the basic circuit as follows. The unijunction oscillator provides a pulse signal suitable for the digital circuit appliances. That means whatever the signal pulses generated by that unijunction oscillator, it is suitable for the digital circuit application. Then the resistance RT and capacitor CT are the timing components that set the circuit oscillating rate. That means whatever the circuit oscillating rate is produced over here, this is related to that total time for the resistor and total time for that capacitor. Then this is a unijunction oscillator waveform. This is a sawtooth wave appears at the emitter of sawtooth wave of that emitter related to that transistor. Over here, just see, this is a sawtooth waveform, and this waveform shows the gradual increase in the capacitance voltage. That means it will be introduced as the whatever the injected voltage or whatever the increased voltage over here. This is the voltage related to VB1, that is the increasing order. This some voltage is increased like this, and for the VB2, this is shown over here. The output related to unijunction oscillator by using UJT is we are getting some sort of like this. And for this oscillator also we are not applying any kind of a signal, that means square wave, triangular wave, sine wave like this waveform, but here we are getting waveform. Then the unijunction oscillator, in that unijunction oscillator frequencies is calculated as the following. As a F0 is equal to 1 divided by RT CT ln 1 divided by 1 minus efficiency. That eta means efficiency, where eta is the unijunction transistor intrinsic standoff ratio. That means what is the ratio introduced by that unijunction transistor over here we are getting. Then the typically unijunction transistor has the standoff ratio from 0.4 to 0.6. That means that standoff ratio will be varies from 0.4 to 0.6, and eta is the unijunction transistor intrinsic ratio. Along with this, there are some advantages related to that oscillator circuit. For every oscillator circuit, that is a LC, either LC, RC or unijunction oscillator, unijunction transistor oscillators are also having same advantages. Just see over here, it is a portable and cheap in a cost. Second oscillator advantage is an oscillator is a non-rotating device, consequently there is a no wear and tear, and hence the longer life. That means every oscillator is having long life, longer life duration. For that purpose it is easily used anywhere and any type of a oscillator, along with that RC, LC and unijunction also. Then the frequency of oscillations may be conveniently varied. That means whatever the frequency of oscillations are generated, that frequency of oscillations can be conveniently varied in our oscillator type. Then voltage or the current of any frequency, that is it will be varies from 20 Hz to 100 megahertz. Adjustable over a wide range can be generated, but minimum limit related to that basic criteria for that oscillation generation is it will be generated for the up to 1 megahertz. Then frequency once set remains the constant for a considerable period of the time. Then along with these advantages point, here also some advantages points are related to that oscillators. Just see, the voltage free from the harmonics as well as the reach with the harmonics can be generated by the sinusoidal oscillators and the relaxation oscillators respectively. The operation of an oscillator is silent as there is no moving part in it. High operation efficiency due to absence of the moving part. There is no wastage of energy owing to friction. Along with that some advantages, these are some applications related to oscillators. What are these? Just see here. An oscillator is mostly used in electronic communication equipments. Local oscillators are used to assist the reduction of the incoming radio frequency, that is RF, to a lower intermediate frequency in a different modulations like AM, that is a amplitude modulation, and FM for frequency modulation and super heterodyne receiver. That means mixing of signal. For there the different number of oscillations are required, and the main aim related to oscillations are to generate the frequency. And for the AM, FM, we know very well the frequency signal is an important role. Then oscillator circuits are also used to generate the RF carrier in the exciter section of the transistor. They are also used as a clock in digital systems such as microcomputers, in the SWEPs, the circuits found in the TV sets and the oscilloscopes. These are the some applications related to our oscillator circuit. Okay, For 3 lectures before, I have started that oscillator point related to basic introduction of oscillators and RC oscillator, and our today's lecture is related to unijunction oscillator and LC oscillator, all these things. Our today's topic is related to oscillators. I have finished. Thank you.